Greetings and welcome back, gentlemen and ladiesmen, to another fantastic episode of 29.97 frames per second Super Mario 64 DS with occasional frame drops. Because evidently this game just runs like that. At first I thought it was an issue with my graphics card and scaling the game up to 10 times size for 4K in real time. But I'm using a an RTX 2080 now, so not really sure what the issue could be. Okay, so last time we played, we unlocked Wario for the first time, and we went back and did a bunch of stuff, and then we cleared out all the stages in the basement, so that we could just have that over and done with. Bowser's already good. I'm pretty sure we already visited all of the... up to this point, all of the boss stages that we could get secret stars from. So now we're back. We're playing as Yoshi because I want to go play this stage over here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Snowman's Land. Because having just one... Oh, and by the way, I should probably show this off as long as we're playing as Yoshi again. You can see that Yoshi is allowed to pick between the 3 different characters right off the get-go. So we're gonna go ahead and play as Luigi, as long as we're gonna be playing as Yoshi playing as Luigi, because that's just how we roll. Yeah, so this level's kind of annoying, and you think that Luigi would make... Oh, but by the way, this is one of my least favorite stars of all time. It's just... This one's always been so janky for me, and I'm kind of lucky I managed to nail that backflip. Even with Luigi, this one's annoying. But as you can see, there's a giant snowman in the center of the stage, and the snowman does not like you walking on it. And fortunately, I've managed to avoid getting blown off in this version, but I know at least in the original, if you get blown off, like if you walk in front of that thing without that penguin there to shield you, then not only do you get blown off the platform and have to climb all the way back up again, but you also lose your hat. And if you remember what Toad said about losing the hat on your head, well, I suppose it's not a problem for Yoshi because he doesn't have a hat, but you know what I mean. You guys get what I'm saying, is that if you are a character who does wear a hat normally, you will lose that hat, and if you do, then that means you're more vulnerable to damage. I can't fucking speak English today. So it's just another reason, so you have to like follow behind this fucking penguin and wait for him to cross that ice bridge in the most erratic pattern you've ever seen in your life. I mean, I made it look kind of easy, but that's because I've been playing this game since I was 5 years old. Well, not this version specifically, but you know what I mean. I've been playing this... one version or another of this level for about 19 years as of today. Because I just turned 24, you see. Yeah, I'm recording this on my birthday, but... Yeah, okay, so, well, we're just gonna go play as regular Yoshi for this, because we're gonna go skip a star real quick. You can see over here that there is, there used to be an ice maze there, but that's not in this version of the game, so that's out of the question. So I'm actually gonna show off Yoshi's Power Flower ability, because I can't think of any better time to make use of it. So, what this does is... It gives Yoshi fire breath for a short period of time. So, like, usually you would have to, like, lick up a fire to do this. But as long as you have this power up here... Alright, it's a little bit annoying to try to jump onto these ice blocks, but they're kind of semi-transparent. Okay. Alright, and then you just unfreeze that block there, and then there's the star. So in the original version of Super Mario 64, there used to be, like, a little ice maze that you would have to solve. But, I don't know, it was... With this game's camera and being inside of like a semi-transparent ice maze and trying to like navigate it, it was kind of awkward, honestly. So I don't know. It gives Yoshi some use in the late game, because otherwise, the best thing about Yoshi is that he's the easiest way to switch to the other characters right off the bat. So. Yeah, so that means that Yoshi does have some use. It's like, you know, I've been complaining about Wario for a while here. Not undeservedly. Let's go play as Wario, just for example, and I keep forgetting to put the bottom screen on, because gotta do that shit manually. But yeah, now we can go play as Wario and we can go fight the bully boss. So there is a convenience factor to playing as Yoshi. Like, you know, as we all remember, Wario is the best at defeating bullies. So you swap to Wario. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that if you want the most convenient way to play Super Mario 64 DS, it's arguably as Yoshi. Since you can, if you're playing, for example, if we're going back to, like, I don't know, Dire Docks, for example, you could jump into that level as Yoshi, and then choose to play as Luigi or Wario, depending on what you want. So let's whirl from the free. I'm gonna go with Luigi this time. I'm gonna have a lot of fun editing this one, because I have to... Like, I swapped the two screens in real time, but not the border, so I have to add that shit in post. And usually when I get around to editing these, I'm feeling lazy. You know, and it's just kind of like, I couldn't work on this for the past few days because I was busy editing the new review. Okay, I guess I just made that work without Luigi's broken backflip, but, you know, it's okay, fam, we did it. It's another star for our collection. But yeah, I've been busy working on the new Luigi's Mansion Roar, which ended up being an hour long. I didn't even do it on purpose. I thought it was gonna be like 45 minutes, folks, I swear. But I ended up having so much to say about it. Not all of it positive, as you would know if you actually watched the thing. Let's play as Mario, why not? But it was just, I don't know, at the same time I feel like it was one of my best written reviews, just in terms of, like, analysis. Because usually what will happen is, not to come off as too jealous here, but it's just like, I write my reviews and I'm like, you know, I don't know, it just feels like sometimes my analysis isn't super good. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being hard on myself, I don't know. But then I'll go watch, like, a King K review, and I'll be like, man, this guy really gets game design. And it's just like, my videos are kind of crap compared to this. But with Luigi's Mansion, I was much happier with how it turned out. And, you know, some of the things I had to say about it. I thought I had, like, a new perspective on it, I guess, and that I explained it well. That's just my point of view, though. Maybe it hasn't released yet. It's still uploading. It's taken all day to upload, folks. I'm not kidding. Like when you upload an hour-long 4K video, it takes forever. If you couldn't guess. Oh, that's right. I've still got one more. Ah, hell. How the fuck am I gonna get back up there? Oh, there's a hill I can use. Yeah, that's the nice thing about Koopa surfing, is that it can, or not. I guess I can't go up that hill. All right, thanks for letting me know that, video game. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. All right, looks like I'm gonna have to go get a Luigi cap. I could have done this much faster without that, but yeah. But I'm glad to have that done. Hopefully people like it and don't roast me alive for not having, like, the most positive opinion ever of it. And you know what's, not to sulk too much or anything, but you know what the worst thing about making reviews is like, you could spend hours writing a script, right? And revising that script, and putting all this work into finding unique gameplay clips for every part of the script, or, you know, the voiceover and whatnot, and then you like say one wrong thing, or like slightly misspeak something, or accidentally put a 3 instead of a 2 in a countdown. If you guys have seen the Superstar Saga Roar, you know what I'm talking about. And then that's all that people talk about in the comments. I'm not kidding. And it is one of the most frustrating things about being a content creator, if I'm being honest, is the fact that people will get so hung up on, like, this one little thing, and that's what everything in the comments comes down to. It's like, I make that hour-long review of The Legend of Zelda, right? Or Ocarina of Time, I mean. Doing all the comparisons and making my case and all that. I briefly bring up Ore Zelda, I think is what it was called. It was supposed to be that N64 disk drive expansion game, which is like, you know, you look at, I mean, there's only so many places to find information about this kind of shit, and I figured Zelda Wiki and Zelda Dungeon were reliable enough, but I guess not. I don't know, those Ori, Zelda, and Master Quest, their development histories are somewhat intertwined, but they are ultimately very different games. Like, there's speculation that Ori, Zelda, you know, we have screenshots and stuff, and we know it was going to have, like, fully 3D towns and stuff like that, and there were going to be a bunch of new costumes, and new dungeons, and stuff like that. But it never came out, so well, I guess we'll never know for sure. But the problem there is that, let's see, we could probably use Luigi's backflip to get up there. And, you know, sort of, I guess what happened was, you know, the Nintendo 64 disk drive flopped before it could even release in the US. And so they decided they couldn't release Ori Zelda. So then Master Quest was something that they made and said it was supposed to be Ori Zelda, just so that they could satisfy fans and get them to stop asking about it. I don't know, that seems to be the case, I don't know. But, you know, I just sort of talked about Ori Zelda and Master Quest being related and kind of implied that they're the same thing, even when I was writing this, or editing the review, I kind of knew that they weren't. But it was just like... It's an hour-long video. You guys have no idea how much time it takes to edit a video that long. Like, the Luigi's Mansion review took me a week to edit. Like, imagine editing a video for a week. By the way, I forgot to mention that this igloo here is completely different from the original igloo, from the N64 version. The original igloo was kind of like an ice maze. And you could go through the walls with the vanish cap and stuff like that. But this is really much more like, what do you call this? Oh, that reminds me, I should probably... Jesus. Should be going for the 100 coin star, but I've been so busy talking about the review and stuff. So I guess what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go get that one that only Luigi can get. And then we'll go for the 100 coin star next and get the red coin star along with that. It just seems to make the most sense to me to just start again. You're gonna have to come in here with Luigi to get that one eventually, so... yeah. But yeah, it took me like a week to edit Luigi's Mansion, and it was really annoying because Vegas and NVIDIA encoder, or NVENC, I usually use my GPU to render, even for these Let's Plays. But lately I've been running into this issue with Vegas, where if you render in 4K 60, then it will like fuck up certain things when it renders it, and it's kind of random. So I had to render with my CPU, but that takes 8 times as long at 4K as it does with even 2K. Or I'm sorry, it takes 8 times longer with my CPU than it does with my GPU. So I ended up having to like split the review into like 6 smaller videos, render them separately, and then combine them losslessly together in post. And it was about as complicated as it sounds. Like, the end product looks great, you know, because with the CPU you get better quality than you do with the GPU, but it takes way longer. So, you know, I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of quality if it means that, you know, I'll be making the rendering time a little easier for myself. Once it gets to YouTube, it's gonna lose some quality anyway, so it's not like it matters. If it were up to me, I'd render everything in AVI, in lossless AVI, but I mean, like, one 4K video could probably fill up like several hard disk drives, is the point. So it's not worth it. It's not worth that extra little bit of quality that's gonna be lost anyway, and, you know, the raw files are encoded in MP4 as it is, so it's like, I don't know, you guys don't care. So yeah, that was a big... It's a difficult video to produce. I'm glad it's done. Hopefully it'll do well. I can make some money, because I could really use it, honestly. But anyways. So there are a couple other changes with this level besides how the igloo is shaped. Like, you might have noticed that there's a silver star in this, or a silver star challenge in this world. And there was not a silver star challenge in the original level. In the original level, the 8 red coins were out here. And you had to explore to find them, but they got moved. What they did was they replaced the red coins out here with silver stars, which are kind of a similar idea, so I'm fine with that. And then they put the red coins inside the igloo and redesigned the igloo and added 2 new stars that only, one that only Luigi could get, for example, so. And I remember these snowmen being harder to kill in the original, like, the way that they worked in the original Super Mario 64 was you had to, like, run around them until they kind of toppled sideways from trying to follow you, whereas in this one, like, much like Mr. Eyes, they just kind of automatically die after a certain point. But yeah, so that's some of the difference here with Snowman's Land. It's an okay level, I don't really mind it that much. I mean, it's, I don't know, it's... Come to think of it, it's kind of easier than Cool Mountain, so... I don't know how that fucking Goomba got up there, but... Alright, get the cap. There we go. Now, I don't know how those fucking Goombas are, like, running up the hill, but I digress. Yeah, I mean, this level feels easier than Cool Mountain, because there's no way to die besides an enemy nuking your health bar. Like, there are no bottomless pits, is the point. I mean, that Snowman one's kind of annoying, but I feel like you could probably have swapped to this in Cool Mountain, the more I think about it. And I'm not really sure we needed 2 ice levels. I don't know, I'm kind of nitpicking, but I don't know, I can't see a good reason for there to be 2 ice levels in this game. Come on, Luigi. You can do it, Penelope. I don't even know what his problem is. Get up there, you. Alright, so there are a couple of snowmen out here. I'm probably gonna end up running into them. Oh, I managed to just barely avoid him, so now we're gonna kill him and get a few more coins. Remember, it's like we've been doing since the beginning of the game. The best way to repeat trips to levels is to combine your 100 coin star with another star, usually the red coin star, but generally, if there's like a part of the level that's harder to get to, that has a bunch of coins in it, that's usually the best idea, is to save, or do the 100 coin star. Then, you know, sometimes with some levels like this, where it's pretty open, you can do it with the red coins, or, I don't know, you guys get what I'm saying. Alright, so this is how you're supposed to get up there, but Luigi doesn't need that because he's Luigi. And yes, you did always have to crawl into this, igloo, and it was always way bigger on the inside than it was on the outside. But I don't know, I kind of hate these things. It's because they make you jump, and now they're floating over the water, so I can't, like, kill them without getting into the cold water that takes your health away. So it's like, I don't know. But you can see that there are plenty of coins in here. I think there are more coins in the DS version of the level than there were before. But yeah, you guys get the point. But you know what, like in terms of structure, the way that this level is laid out, I don't really mind it all that much. In fact, beyond, the only real complaint I have is the Snowman star from the beginning, and even then, you saw the quick work I made of it. But I remember that star being a living hell when I was like 5, so take that with a grain of salt, I guess. There we go. A few more coins for our correction. Let's see. Yeah, but I don't know, it's I've had a chance to play Reignited Trilogy. And it's pretty good. If you like Spyro, you should probably get it. There will be a roar. I will do a roar on it. I'll probably start prepping for that after this recording session here, after I finish this game here. But of course, Eric's gonna be back this week, and then he and I have to re-record the last chunk of Wind Waker. So I've got to go play all the way through Wind Waker up towards the end of the Wind Temple, all by myself. Oh god. I should see if I can't find any cheat codes or something to make it faster. Like things that let you skip all the cutscenes or something, and just use that to help me catch up. Then I'm gonna have to fucking set up the Tingle Tuner recording again. I don't know, part of me doesn't even want to re-record that last chunk, because, you know, obviously I lost that footage because my Windows shit the bed on me and then I accidentally deleted my own hard drive because I was too stupid to unplug the damn thing before I started erasing partitions. It's just, I don't know, I guess it'll give Eric and I an opportunity to record something a little bit more interesting, because the problem with everything, because like everything up to the wingtip, I think, was the best part of the playthrough. Once we got to Triforce charts and stuff, it's like Eric had less to do, because, you know, it would be making things take longer. And then the final dungeon in Super Mario 60, I'm sorry, Wind Waker, you can't even use Tingle, so it was kind of like, I don't really know why. It's because the place doesn't have a map, but why not have a map in Ganon's castle? I don't get it. Oh, but I digress. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I think that does it for Snowman's Land. I'm pretty sure we're done now. Yeah, we're done. So join me in the next episode and we'll go play a new level. So yeah, until then, I'm EXO and I'll see you guys next time.